Okay, cops out there, there's this thing called First Amendment auditing. Stop falling for it. They videotape you from public. It's not suspicious. It's not illegal. We should act like we're on camera anyway. They do not have to identify themselves. They are not breaking the law. Stop embarrassing us and escalating these situations, please.
But here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
But here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
And here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Because here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Either give me your ID or you go to jail. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that? How about that?
Here's the deal.
In pursuit of a Mazda heading south on 3 Points Road.
Okay, Politically Atheist sent this to me just now, sent this link, and I haven't seen it yet, so let's take a look at this.
Okay, cops out there, there's this thing called First Amendment auditing. Stop falling for it. They videotape you from public. It's not suspicious. It's not illegal. We should act like we're on camera anyway. They do not have to identify themselves. They are not breaking the law. Stop embarrassing us and escalating these situations, please. Chuck up the deuce or say tag me and move it along. I love you, brothers and sisters in blue, but you're making us look bad. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty good. But not just making them look bad, you're violating your oath to the Constitution of the United States, the very thing you swore to protect, defend, and uphold against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And then you turn around, you boys in blue, not heeding M.R. Thornton's voice here, and you become the very domestic terrorists and enemies that you swore to protect us from. So, I mean, while this is a really good message, it's not just about, hey, come on, do the right thing. It's why are you doing the wrong thing? Why are you doing the evil thing? It's not suspicious activity when somebody exercises a constitutionally protected right. I mean, the way some of these cops act with a guy with a camera or a woman with a camera, you would think they're actually committing a crime that is worthy of investigation, was worthy of suspicion, is worthy of arrest and harassment and detainment and caging that person. That's how these cops act, and nothing could be farther from the truth. They're actually doing what you swore to protect, and you're going to walk up to them and harass them? It's crazy. So I totally agree with what this guy said right here, but you know, it's deeper than, come on guys, let's get it together. It's like, stop committing criminal activities. You've literally, I don't care if you're wearing a uniform. I don't care if you're wearing a costume. I don't care if you have a shiny badge. I don't care if you come with the authority of the state and the politicians say you could do it. It doesn't wipe away the fact that you're actually engaged in criminal activity when you're harassing a person who's trying to hold you accountable and offer transparency to the viewing public. That's what it's called. It's criminal activity. When you're violating the public will, when you're violating the public trust, when you're actually initiating force, grabbing somebody, putting a chicken winging them behind their backs, putting on the torture cuffs, making them sit on the curb like a dog until the investigation is complete. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you're engaged in criminal activity. You can't wipe it away with uniforms. You can't wipe it away with fancy badges or with titles or with the fact that you're a politician, representative, congressman, governor. You can't wipe away the fact that a human just committed another crime against another human. So I agree with this, what this cop is saying, but it goes even deeper. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about right now. Jefferson supposedly said, and whether he said it or not, it doesn't matter. Does it stand on its own merits? Is it true? When injustice becomes law, when the law of the land is injustice, when the law of the land is tyranny, when the law of the land is criminal activity protected by qualified immunity, does resistance become duty? Should we resist injustice? Should we resist criminality? Should we resist terrorism? And I think we all know the answer to that question. And right here is an example of this. I think I covered this, but I can't remember. I think I covered this on a live stream one time, but I didn't put it on any of my other social media. This is when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty, lived out in regular daily life. Watch this. Cigarette police. You see the back of his shirt right there? Environmental enforcement. We're going to force you to be kind to the environment, to clean the air. We're going to use force against you.
Mate, do not give your details. Walk into the Arndale. He can't follow you. That's a private building. He works for a company, 3GS. I'm going to save you £100 fine right now. Walk into the Arndale. He works for a private company. I promise you, he does not work for the council. He's a subcontractor. You don't. How much of the fine goes to Manchester City Council?
So I couldn't tell you exactly what percentage.
I'll tell you, it's £20. Of the, what, £100 fine it is? The rest goes to your company, 3GS. What you guys do is sick. Honestly, walk into the Arndale, he cannot follow you. That's a private building. I'll walk with you, I promise you. I'm going to save you money right now. He's using scare contacts he's using scare tactics to intimidate you.
And that's exactly what he's doing. This 3GS guy right here, he's using scare tactics. He's trying to get this guy to fear. And when somebody's operating off of a fear base, they're going to make the wrong decisions. They're going to be easy to manipulate. No, hey, I represent authority and I'm about to give you £100 fine. I don't know what that translates to dollars. I should have looked it up, but let's say it's $100. $100 fine. So this guy with the camera is walking up and intervening with an environmental enforcement agency who's about to economically terrorize somebody standing on the street. And how does one resist injustice? How does one live out the duty of resisting injustice? Well, here's one of those examples right here. Hey, if you walk into the Irondale, it's private property. He can't follow you in there, and I'm going to save you a whole bunch of money. That right there is true love for your fellow human being. Where this guy right here, this 3GS guy right here, representing some kind of code enforcement or environmental enforcement, is doing the exact opposite.
What you guys do is sick. Honestly, walk into the Arndale, he cannot follow you. That's a private building.
It is sick.
I'll walk with you, I promise you. I'm going to save you money right now. He's using scare contacts he's using scare tactics to intimidate you. Don't listen to him, just follow me into the Arndale and he will not follow. Yeah. So just come into the Arndale, it's a private building.
Understand what I've done.
Yeah, apparently he dropped litter. They were contracted to originally get rid of toxic waste and all the major rubbish around the suburbs, but instead they target the easy money peak, which is cigarette. Yeah. There you go, he's not following you.
What are you reporting?
So what they're doing is economic terrorism. What this guy's doing, look at this. True to this guy's, the cameraman's word, the 3GS guy stands on the corner and doggone it, I can't collect $100 from my company. I can't economically terrorize somebody because another person, the cameraman, walked up with knowledge. Knowledge is power. The guy who's about to be intimidated, the guy who's operating on that fear base thinking, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. Oh gosh, I guess I'm going to get a fine now. That guy right there was operating out of ignorance. Those who desire to be ignorant and free desire what never was and what never shall be. So the guy with the knowledge, the guy with the power walks up and goes, I'm about to save you a whole ton of money and I'm about to save you from being harassed by this guy. Walk into this private building. He can't and he won't follow you and you'll be able to retain your money. See, the thing with these codes enforcement officers, what they don't understand, or maybe they do, they just do it anyway. They violate their conscience by economically terrorizing other people. What if that was this guy's last £100? What if he needed that £100? What if he needed that $100 to go, pay for food or for the, last month's rent so he can keep a, roof over his family's head? This is what happens. This is what codes enforcement does. They literally violate the will of the people, exert economic terrorism on them, and people get placed in a very, very bad situation where they become very desperate because of these codes enforcers. So this is an example right here of when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. He resisted kindly, nicely. He didn't raise his voice or anything, but he did call this codes enforcement, environmental enforcement agent out, said that what he's doing is utterly disgusting, wreaking economic terrorism on this guy, and he saved this guy £100. What if we all did that? What if we all jumped in? What if we all added some serious transparency to this life? We could literally help people. When injustice becomes law, resistance looks like becomes duty and is very efficacious.